You guys, we are live on Facebook. Three chicks walk into a bar live on Facebook. This is our first episode and I'm super excited. I guess maybe we should introduce ourselves. That would be a good start. You want to go first, Jenny?
Oh, sure. Put me on the spot. No worries, everyone. I am Jenny. I am Jenny Henderson, and I own Balanced Bodies Westside. I am in the west coast of Canada. A few hours in from the coast, actually, but I help teach women how to repair their relationships with food. I think that a lot of us have a little bit of a tainted relationship with food stemming from when we were young, and helping repair your relationship with food helps you lose fat without any restriction. So I'm very passionate about that, as well as these ladies here. I like to just help women, and there's a lot of women who need a lot of help trying to be their best selves, and I'm very passionate about it. So that is why I'm here today.
Yay! And over to you, Nora.
Hi guys, I'm Nora Cebulski. I own Rise and Aura Fitness. I am based in New York on Long Island. I have 6 kids, so you might hear them at some point in the background. I am equally passionate about helping people really overcome their pain and see it as their power. I speak to a lot of food addicts. I speak to a lot of addicts, period. And I also believe that iron is where we find our inner strength. So again, that mindset comes back. That's why all of us are here. That's how I found Holly and Jenny. And we pretty much see on the same wavelength as far as mindset goes and repairing people's relationships with food and themselves and that past history of themselves. So I think this is going to be a great podcast going forward, and I'm so excited.
I know, I'm so excited. Well, I should introduce myself to you, to your audiences. So I'm Holly, and I launched my business. I'm the newest because I launched my business only this year in 2020, just before COVID hit, which was so timely because I'm an online personal trainer of Joy Training. And I work with men and women to really get them to find a joy in their training, to really love what they're doing with their weight training at home or in the gym. I do a lot of weight loss clients, but I also do a lot of muscle building as well, because I'm a competitive bodybuilder. So I can kind of translate a lot of the stuff that I do myself into everyday lifestyle clients. So and the 3 of us met through our business coach Nicole of Authentic Conversion, and I was just so inspired by both of you with the work that you do. I think we are, like you say, with 3 different people, 3 different areas of the world, but very similar views on the best way to change people's bodies. So I just thought, like, I was going to just do separate little interviews with you guys. And then Nora was like, why don't we do a whole show, the 3 of us together? I'm like, yes, this is such a good idea. So we made it happen, which is so cool.
And we get to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Nice bonus.
Virtually.
Wait till we go live in bikinis from somewhere like remote.
Oh my God, I would love that so much. So what do you guys, what do we want to talk about first? You want to talk about the state of the world right now and how it is different in our different areas with the C word, the damned C word.
That's a great idea.
C word.
Yeah, it's happening. We can't avoid it. So I think that we should talk about it. I think it's a great segue into breaking that ice. And for me here in Canada, in British Columbia, we are faring almost the best, where we do definitely have a lot of COVID and there are a lot of restrictions in effect, but our numbers are quite low per capita compared to other areas of the world. And I'm quite rural where I am. I'm a little bit out of town, so it's easy for me to stay put where I am. I was online for 4 years before this started. I already had online clients, so it wasn't a huge transition for me. But I think that the biggest transition that I have noticed with my clients local and across Canada and in the US is that they've mostly now transitioned to at-home workouts. We used to have this mindset, and some of my clients, you ladies can probably relate, in the very beginning were so upset about the idea of, I'm not going to be able to reach my goals if I have to work out from home, if I don't have those machines, if I don't have that heavy weight. And trust me, I love to lift heavy myself. I've got a squat rack in my basement, but you can have results at home with so many different things, with body weight, with resistance, with your baby. I've been posting a couple of videos
I
of
saw
my godson. It's nice to have that heavy weight, but we don't need it. And I'm sure you ladies can relate. Most of it is mindset and nutrition. The exercise is beautiful icing on the cake.
Sure.
What's it like in New York?
So in New York, it is pretty much, I feel like it's the same, although they're saying that it's worse than it was in March. New Jersey is shutting down now. They just posted some restrictions again to limiting outdoor gatherings to under 25 people. And my son just had COVID 2 weeks ago. So I am like the COVID star right now, I feel like. And, he had mild symptoms, thank goodness. But I do notice among his population, so among his friends, among that younger population, we're hearing a lot more about people getting COVID. And thank God it's been, fairly easy with their symptoms. It hasn't been crazy. My nephew has COVID currently. My sister-in-law has COVID. Her daughter, so my niece, has COVID, and they're in Boston. My nephew's in New York. So you see that it's definitely coming around. My clients this time around don't seem as nervous, I think, because I was an in-person trainer much more than I was an online trainer when I started. Because the way that I learned how to train had me dealing a lot with form and making sure that people's form was right and looking at spinal flexion and all that kind of stuff up close and personal. But now I think there's so many apps and there's so many ways for us to help our clients so that all of that stuff can be translated into the home. And what my clients have done, and which is unbelievable, is even with the amount of equipment that's really, really expensive, because let's face it, everybody's like hiking up fitness equipment. They really are building gyms, and the amount of equipment coming out right now that is home conducive and it is smaller in scale and all that stuff is really, really wonderful. And that's what is so exciting. Like my clients were, when I was an in-person trainer, maybe they were lifting with me twice a week, and now they're really lifting with me 5 days a week, 7 days a week. So that's awesome.
That's so awesome.
And what about you, Paul?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had initial lockdown in March, which is when I started my business, and it was perfect timing because we're Jersey Channel Islands is a small island. It's only 9 by 5 miles in all the way around, and it's in between UK and France, so it's like a little tiny place. So we're really isolated, and we didn't have it really too bad here. So they locked down in March and the gyms closed for a couple of months, and that was a real shock to everybody. No one was expecting it because it's so small and insular here. So like I launched and I was training clients with water bottles. I had big guys with like 3 liters taped together doing shoulder press, like a little triangle, and it was great because I'm a creative person. I like to think outside the box. So I'm like, okay, I want them to do leg extensions. How are we going to do leg extensions at home? Okay, so we designed this chair with resistance bands so they can put their legs forward and back. And it was really fun. And I think what really came out, I agree with you, what really came out is being able to have a group dynamic is huge. And I can reach, so right now I have a client in the UK and I have one in South Africa. I could never train these people in person. So I can reach all of these people, but we're coming together like a group unit. And even with the time difference of South Africa being a couple of hours ahead of us, it's still doable for our group calls when we all come together, and they still get, their training is super interesting. And I just love seeing like all the different seasons, like the UK's had snow recently. So they've been covered in snow. South Africa is like summer, 25 degrees. And I'm loving the way that people, it's bringing out the adaptation of people. So right now, like on Thursday night, the gyms went closed again. So for the second time this year. So we're not in lockdown this time. We can go out, but hospitality is closed and the gyms have closed. And it's a lot of people are a little bit more prepared this time because they've got stuff at home. So it's like, okay, you know what? You can do heavy stuff at home because your dumbbells are the same weight as they would be in the gym. You can still watch what you're eating. Nothing's changed there. It, like you say, your mind can make a heaven out of a hell or a hell out of a heaven, and you can control your internal environment, so I'm sure that you
just agree. Listening to you talk, I can, that just really drives our point. Your perspective on it, you got excited about finding different ways to make it work for you. I get questions, and I'm sure you ladies do as well, from people who really are worried about this, and like, how can I possibly reach my fitness goals when all these restrictions are in effect and I don't have any equipment at home? Well, that is just a matter of perspective. Anybody can make it work. Anybody can. And if you have that mindset that, all right, this is a new challenge, let's figure it out, then you've got no choice but to be successful.
Absolutely. Like, have you guys seen the Rocky films?
Of course.
Yeah, like when he has to train.
Times.
Sorry.
Like 900 times.
Yeah, exactly. Like when he has to train with like the logs on his back in the snow in Russia and everything.
Yeah, that was the Russia one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Russia one. Yeah. And I'm saying to my clients all the time, right, Rocky style. And I had my guy in the UK was like holding a water vat doing triceps.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes. Like fill a backpack for leg day, put a whole bunch of heavy shit in that backpack and just do your leg day. It's so much extra resistance. It doesn't have to be a challenge. Turn that fear, that doubt, turn that into excitement, you guys. Like,
I think the other thing too is that, a lot of people what I found was a lot of people had to stop looking at their workouts and looking at physical activity as a check off their list. Like it's no longer a check off your list. If it isn't part of your routine every day in survival mode, in strength mode, then it has to be. I mean, if COVID has taught any of us anything, it's that working out and being physically active is so necessary, and also to teach the younger generations about it, because I have so many people that ask me, can you train my kids, can you train my daughter, can you train my son, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, what are you doing? So if you're not waking up and wanting to get it done and not realizing the importance of physical activity, of course the diet and all that stuff goes in, but if it's just an aesthetic thing, it might fall by the wayside. So it really has to be part of that survival mechanism.
Yeah,
it's so cliche, but it's the lifestyle, right? Like we all want to make this a lifestyle. That's what my clients are telling me, and the majority of them are moms, and they're teaching their kids good habits is a huge part of their why they want to do this. Yes, some of us have some vanity goals, after
vanity is like the most fun part of it all.
I think so.
If you put on
reach a goal, make a new one. Reach a goal, make a new one. And, I love hearing those non-scale victories from my clients that, are like, oh my God, I fit into these jeans I didn't fit into last year. This is incredible. I feel so good. That's why we do this, right?
I love that. I love when you touch on that. What do you call it? The non-scale victories.
Non-scale victories. That's a big part of my program. I encourage my clients to share them, and they share them every day. And just to further, again, that point, people, if you're watching and you have goals and you're worried about how this pandemic is going to affect your goals, my clients are all seeing incredible results, and I'm sure you ladies will agree. They are all seeing incredible results right now. They share non-scale victories every day.
Sure. And so I guess like non-scale victories could be things like you managed to get better sleep this week. Yes. You managed to get like an extra few hours of sleep. Maybe you successfully got up half an hour earlier on a regular basis and you got something done that you wanted to do. I had one client, this was a really cool non-scale victory. She was super shy at the beginning when we started working together, and she actually had a banging body, but she didn't think she did, and that's all that matters, right? And she started to get more and more confident, and the gyms were open. We were starting to work towards maybe joining the gym, and one day, I thought this was a perfect metaphor, because I have them working pull-up bars, you know, at home because they're really good. She had a pull-up bar in her doorway and she walked into her room and hit her head on it. She had never done that before. And I was like, oh, maybe, was it because you were standing taller? Was it first thing in the morning? She was like, I think I feel prouder in my body. And I was holding my head up higher. I was like, oh my God, that's so, like, gave me goosebumps, right?
I love that. I really, really love that.
So, like, non-scale victories are a really cool thing, because I think clients come to me expecting that it's all going to be about what numbers on the scales, what numbers, and that forms part of it. But all these little things are massive, aren't they?
They really
I
are.
think they are, because I think the diet and fitness industry, I mean, what I preach about all the time to my clients is that the diet and fitness industry has made so much money off making women especially believe that they aren't worthy unless that number on the scale says something. So when I take my clients on, the first question that I ask them at the beginning of the 12-week program is, I want a non-scale victory. I don't word it like that, but you know, for one girl, it was that she wanted to hike a mountain with her daughter. She wasn't able to do it, and her friend had taken her and FaceTimed her the entire way up.
No, that's awesome.
It was really profound, because, you know, for her, when she told me her goal, she was actually crying. Like, you're not going to quit a goal like that.
No.
And she did it actually 2 weeks into the program. And then it just propelled her, like she was an animal after that.
Yeah, so I can do anything.
And the before and after picture, which is why she thought she was coming to me, came anyway, but it came with so much more.
Right. She didn't even know what she was going to get out of working with you.
Right. And that, I think, when you can help with, like, women especially, I mean, I train men as well. Men don't seem to have the same insecurities, but women have been conditioned by a really crazy diet and fitness industry. I mean, let's face it, it's massive, it's overwhelming. It is, you know, it holds people prisoner if they let it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I try to explain to my clients that, you know, the transformation visually that's going to happen, that is great. And I know that's why you first came here.
Yeah.
But the internal transformation, your mindset transformation, that is going to be so much more profound.
Absolutely. Like, with your clients this year, particularly because of COVID, I'm hearing a lot about mental health and you know, because a lot of people, especially during lockdown, people are having to work from home, homeschool kids, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Like, can you give some useful tips to people to keep their minds positive, to be able to do exercise and stuff? Like what would you suggest to help people in a really bad situation?
I think, I mean, it all goes back to what Nicole used to tell us. Like, we are all from the same business coach. You have to wake up in the morning and you have to be grateful for what you do have.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is,
I mean, gratitude is the key, right? But the invitation of inviting whatever is going to bless your life essentially that day, the invitation is the essential part of that. Like,
how do you do the invitation?
Well, Nicole always taught us to invite people that you can help or that you can pay it forward to every single day, and have the faith that they're going to show up. And that really is, I mean, faith is what this is all about, right? I think
trusting in the process.
Yeah, having faith in a process and having faith in just taking that leap. I mean, I say it all the time. I make my clients do box jumps, and they're like, why the hell are you making us do box jumps? You know, I'm 65 years old. I'm like, yes, it's like, you have to see the metaphor of jumping and having faith, like, just jump.
Right, I get it. Yeah, like, don't be afraid that you're going to miss, you know.
Right. I mean, that's what ages us, right? Like, I'm going to be 49 this week.
No, you don't look it.
Yeah, and I can't believe it, but I don't feel 49. I mean, to me, it's just a number. It's just,
it is.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that, you know, that's part of it. Like, just realizing that the anti-aging that comes into it, like all of these wonderful things that come with working out, that come with getting up and getting it done. You're never, you know, we speak a lot about motivation. You'll never be motivated 100% of the time. You have to be disciplined 100% of the time. And that's what it boils down to.
That's right. That's
And
right.
how do people manage that with kids?
I've got two as well, and actually I use gratitude with my children as well. And I recently had a client take my advice, use it on her kids, and it turned out phenomenally. When the kids are, because they're feeling the collective anxiety in the world as well, right?
Wow.
Like, especially when we pick it up as their mothers or their fathers, they feel it from us. We give it to them whether we want to or not. And when my kids are feeling kind of crummy, I'm like, all right, you guys, I want to hear 5 grateful thoughts right now. And if they're very vague and quick, if they just spit them out, like, I'm grateful for my mom, I'm grateful for my dad, I'm grateful for my brother, I'm grateful for this car, I'm grateful for this house, I'm grateful for my hamster. I'm like, tell me why. Why are you grateful? Why? And by the time they're done, they're fucking smiling. Excuse my language.
They've had to think.
They're smiling. Yeah, they're laughing. They're in a good mood. You cannot be grateful and anxious or grateful and grumpy or grateful and negative at the same time.
Yep.
You can't. So I practice the same as you ladies. First thing in the morning before I even open my eyes, I practice gratitude. I practice gratitude before I go to bed every single night. After my kids are on the bus, I write my gratitude journal. It is a very big part of my life. And it's also a very big part of my program, my 12-week program that my clients are in. It's a very big part of it. I encourage them to practice gratitude. And I do find I can tell which ones actually put it to use because they're just
Always
shining.
tell.
Shining. Mm-hmm.
You can always tell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's the other thing. It's like the gratitude is what propels them going forward. And I think that that's so important because you're not going to wake up. Listen, we're all bodybuilders, right? We're all like, we've all been there, done that kind of, and we still wake up and have really shitty days. I still wake up and like people are like, oh my God, how do I get abs like yours? And I'm like, abs like these? For real? But, you know, again, that gratitude, you're never going to have 100% of the best days, but that gratitude can turn that frown upside down for sure.
It sure can. It sure can.
I really like that. I really like that. So are you guys, your gyms, did you say that your gyms are shut or open?
Ours are open at the moment. They did shut. They're open again. Initially, when they first reopened, you had to wear a mask. Now they're saying you don't have to. Very limited availabilities in the gym, like maximum occupancy limits and things like that, extra cleaning. They're taking precautions, but ours are open right now. But I find that many of my clients and people who message me, they're choosing to work out from home anyways, just to minimize their risk. So there's still a big emphasis on home workouts right now, I think.
And because both you guys, well, actually, Nora, you train men as well, but you training women with kids. Do the women with kids, they're able to find time to get their workouts in?
Of course.
Yeah. I think they're probably more motivated, actually.
Right, because they're probably better with their time.
Victory. We talked about non-scale victories. That is one of the biggest non-scale victories that the moms tell me. I have more energy for my kids. And that, you know, like my kids are 11 and 15 now. I was a really young mom. I remember when I was in the trenches, when I was in my early 20s with 2 babies, I was like, ooh, I can't find time. But that's when I started my journey. My son was 6.5, my daughter was 2.5, and I was just done. I was like, I don't have any energy. I'm always grumpy. I'm always yelling. I'm not eating properly. I'm not sleeping properly. I'm working full time. At the time, my husband worked away a lot. I was by myself with these 2 babies for most of the time. Right. And I'm telling you, I never thought I had the energy to work out. But as soon as I started a decade ago, I did not stop. Yeah. Because the results just were so phenomenal.
Well, I did it for the free childcare. I'm not going to lie.
Actually, that was a part of it as well in the gym.
Yeah, but it was like that was my only time, you know. And it was funny because when I first started working out and going to the gym, my husband was like, "You're going to go to the gym again?" And it was like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. And so I was like, "All right." He's like, "You know, it costs money to go to a gym." And I was like, all right, well then I'll become a trainer. And then
I like it.
And then he was like, all you do is work. And let's face it, guys are not, you know, well, my husband anyway, he's like a little bit, he's very supportive, but sometimes he can be a little bit of a pain in the neck. And, you know, with kids and when you're taking care of everybody else, I think when I first started lifting, it was like the first time that I ever started taking care of myself. And I think for women, women especially, that's why they started. And plus, which we're so much more complex, I think. Like my women, as far as nutrition goes and the mindset thing, are much more complex than my men. My men are like, here's your formula. This is what you do to work out. This is how I'm going to periodize your workouts. You're going to do 8 reps this week, 10 reps next week. Then we're going to drop you out. And the guys are like, okay, see ya.
Yeah.
We're just much more emotional. We've got this emotional connection with food. We're emotional about our time, and we do have a hard time putting ourselves first. We have a very hard time putting ourselves first. We want to take care of our husbands and our kids and our houses and our pets and our friends and everyone else. But as soon as we start to fill our cup first, we can overflow our cup and fill everybody else's. My daughter uses that analogy from school, so I repeat it a lot.
It's true, isn't it? Because you can only give others what you already have yourself. So if you don't have time and energy and love and patience because you've made time for those things, you cannot give that to anybody else. So it's crucial, isn't it? But
my me time, my first me time was joining the gym, and I'll never work.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it as well. I had that with one of my clients. She said she had never weight trained before. She doesn't have kids. But she didn't think, she has 5 dogs and they're really busy. They run their own dog walking business. And when we first started, she wanted to try it, but she wasn't imagining that weight training would give her anything. But she didn't realize how you get the opportunity to sink into your own body and feel all your different muscles and make a mind muscle connection and really get to know your body. Like injuries that you may not have been even aware that you're stiff on this shoulder or something. You suddenly like, oh, wow, I'm really stiff there. Let's try and work around that. You're kind of getting to know yourself. And that's, like you say, that's your special time to work on yourself, which I think is really important and very healthy.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time on gratitude when I'm exercising as well. Like I know I keep repeating it, but it is such a big part of my life now, and it's changed my life exponentially. And when I'm working out, I say to myself, I'm so happy and grateful for my strong, healthy body. I am so grateful that I'm building strength. I am so grateful that I have the ability to do this. That's huge. That's so huge. So many people don't even have the ability to do what so many of us have the opportunity to do.
Yeah. Right. You know what, this year I think has actually, well, taught me anyhow, it's presented us a great opportunity to experience gratitude, because a lot of us at some point have been locked down in our homes. We've had to just sit there and deal with our own thoughts, particularly if you live alone or whatever, and you can sink or swim. So the best way is to kind of do exactly that, to sit and think, you know what, I really took for granted being able to go out and spend time with family. I really took for granted being able to go outside for more than 1 hour. Like, I'm never going to take that for granted again, and now every time when I go on a beach walk, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is my freedom. This is what we live for. Like hard times can actually make you realize how lucky you are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's important too. You have to look at this as enlightenment. Like, this is the age of enlightenment. Of course, it could have been detrimental. It could have been so many things, but you guys are right. And I mean, and that's what we like. Once when I got married, they said, like, after you get married, you're ministers to the sacrament of marriage. Like, we're ministers to the sacrament of taking care of ourselves. And I think that when you do get to know your body, like I probably got into weight training for, I was 30 something with 5 kids at the time, 4 kids, pregnant with my 5th actually.
Wow.
I think I got into it because I was like, I want a slamming body after I have this baby. And
what
it became was just so different. You're right. I mean, you learn so much, and my clients learn so much about your shoulders and your knees and the way you feel things and the way you ground yourself, the way you brace yourself, the way you come up against challenges in your life. I mean,
and mentally.
Right. And there are so many things my clients will always say to me. There's been so many traumatic events that have happened in my life, and my clients will be like, you're at work today. Like, are you nuts? And I'm like, there's no place I'd rather be. Like,
because I love doing this.
Yeah. The iron is my therapy.
Yeah.
It's almost like I walk in every morning like, come on, try and take me down.
Yeah.
I like the challenge, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Let's
true.
face it.
And it is cool actually that all of us are bodybuilders. You know, I didn't even think of that because Jenny, you've competed, right? And Nora as well.
I haven't competed.
No, but you
Not
did,
yet.
you did.
Oh yeah, in my little competitions, of course.
Yeah, which I love. And I looked up, is it Jim Stepani, you said?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw him. I know who you mean now. I saw a video of him.
Oh,
I
he
think,
has videos.
you know, bodybuilding is a really great finder-outer of you mentally, your mental strength, because you're pushing your body to the limits in terms of nutrition, in terms of being able to work out when you're tired, and then you have to be confident to stand on stage and literally just be compared. And it's totally based on someone's opinion. It doesn't really mean that anything, you know, because they just might not like you that day. I love the things that you learn about yourself on that journey. You know, the discipline I find very comforting.
Me too. I can be disciplined. If I have a plan, put it on paper, I can be disciplined. It's very similar to what we teach in our programs. It's the mindset that is the challenging part.
So what do you guys think the secret is to discipline? Like, that's what I get asked a lot. Like, how are you so disciplined? Because I can't really answer that. I'm not sure how it happened.
I don't know if I can answer that either. I don't know. Like, is it a certain personality trait? I really think it's just the faith in the outcome. I have faith in the outcome. I just know. Visualization is huge. Have you seen G.I. Jane with Demi Moore?
Of course.
I watched G.I. Jane as a child, and like a preteen. And I come from a family who doesn't, my entire family, they, no offense, I love every single one of them so damn much, but health is not the number one priority for most of my family members. And I never in a million years could understand why or how I had this vision of being fit as Demi Moore in my 30s. I just knew I was going to be fit as Demi Moore in G.I. Jane in my 30s.
And you are.
I can see, I feel pretty good. I feel confident.
Yeah, you are.
I feel comfortable in my own skin, which is the most important. I'm not stage lean. I wasn't any good at bodybuilding. I did it twice and I fell right in the middle both times. I didn't do any good at it, but I enjoyed it and it taught me a lot about myself. But visualization, I think that discipline comes from the knowing that you will reach your goals, just knowing and trusting that you will reach your goals.
I like faith.
Yeah.
I like the word faith because when I started bodybuilding and I did my first show in 2017, I'd watched some shows and was really inspired, and I'd seen posters on the wall of bodybuilding women in my gym, and I thought, they are amazing. I could never hope to look like that. But when I decided to prep in 2017, I had no vision of how I could look, no proof that it would work. So I had blind faith in my coach and I guess in myself, and I kind of didn't have much expectation. So I just thought, like, I'll just do the things they say to do. And so I was disciplined through that whole time without any proof that it would work. So therefore, discipline must come from blind faith, because I didn't have any proof at that time that the discipline would pay off. Like it might not have, I didn't know. So if you say, where does discipline come from? I think it comes from having faith and trust in yourself, and I would suggest a coach. Because
and I think it's funny, right? Because people take for granted, right? We send our kids to school, we educate our children. I get a lot of questions about the training of children. And I wonder, why does that stop when you've graduated college, or when you go to work, or when you know, of course you want to be good at your job. Of course you want to be great at what you want to do, but why wouldn't you want to learn how to have more faith in yourself and more trust in yourself and more strength as you get older? Because I tell my clients all the time, you know, as we get older, life doesn't get easier. It gets harder. And it's one of the only reasons that I get up every day. And again, I want to learn how to have more faith in myself, more faith that I can help people, more faith that I can give people strength, and have more strength so that when those things happen, death, divorce, all of those crazy things that are thrown at us, that we don't, you know, shudder, that we find a way to trail through. And I think the part of our programs and what Nicole, our business coach, taught us is that it's in that tribe that we're found, that we're really founding, that we're starting. Like my girls are my tribe. And my guys, the people that I train are my tribe. And I just had a guy reach out to me yesterday. This is so awesome. He was my first client like 15 years ago. And I haven't seen him, like every once in a while we'll just text back and forth, but I really haven't heard from him in like 2 years. Huge Cher fan. So Cher just rescued that elephant, the loneliest elephant in the world, and flew it somewhere.
Oh, I never knew that.
But he texted me and he's like, I know you thought Cher rescued me and flew me across, whatever. Like it was funny when he said it. And then he goes, I can't quit you. And he sent me a picture of the workout routine that I had handwritten him like 15 years ago. Did I know what I was doing as a trainer? I would write these exercises and like hope for the best, do as much weight as you can, call me later, eat a lot of vegetables. I didn't really know what I was doing, but these people, like over time we've grown together, like we've shared our lives, like they've gotten so much like spiritual strength, like the spiritual strength when my clients get it, to me, I mean, I love looking at their bodies. They know I pinch their ass. I touch them all over the place. I think the guys are more happy about that than their wives. It's the spiritual strength that I watch people, as you watch them go through life's events, traumatic or happy or whatever, those are like, that's why I love my freaking job.
Oh yeah. I live very rural, so it's easy for me to fall out of the loop of adult interaction in person, and especially with the pandemic happening right now and the restrictions in effect. But I find I just get so recharged when I have these video chats with my clients. We've formed the most amazing connections, and they really are my tribe. And I completely resonate with what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I totally feel the same way. I think, I have a business coach, same as you, and I also have a bodybuilding coach. And you know what? I know how to train and I know how to eat, but when I really need him, close to showtime, sometimes, like you say, you can't be objective about yourself, and you need somebody else to tell you the things that you already know, but you need to be told. And it's just nice to have that support network.
I think some of the most successful people in the world have coaches. Yes, a lot of us do not, and some of us are opening our minds to it. And I agree with what you were saying earlier, Nora. Like, why should education stop when we're past that post-secondary education time period of our lives? I truly believe in always learning and always growing. And I have had a coach for the last 6 years. I've always had a coach. Coaches need coaches. And when you look at some of the most successful people in the world, they have coaches as well. Business coaches, life coaches, transformation coaches. Yes, sometimes fat loss coaches or bodybuilding coaches, but I think that there's a real need for what we do. And I know that it's valuable because I have so many of my clients, and you guys probably experience the same, who complete the 12 weeks and say, what's next? And now I've developed a 6-month and a 12-month program as well for those who are just starting to hit the ground running, because 12 weeks, you can lay a really solid foundation, but most of us can be realistic about expectations. In 12 weeks, you're not going to reach your goals, but you're going to
really quick.
Yeah, you're going to build some very amazing habits that will help you eventually reach your goals. And 12 weeks, a lot of magic can happen, but it really does take us longer. It's a lifestyle.
I think the beauty in it, right, is that I think we train our clients, like my clients had goals, totally smashed, and then they're like, okay, what's my next goal? Like, what am I doing now? It's like, of course. I mean, I have girls that just turn to me. Actually, a lot of them are on here. Cindy's on here. Sharon's on here.
Oh, are they? I'm not looking.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on. So,
hello, everyone.
Hi.
I haven't even looked. Wow, there really are.
Yeah, and a lot of them are continuing on. I had one girl that started with me who, she was like, I had so much mindset stuff. I didn't even realize that I had this amount of mindset, that we tackled in 12 weeks. And then after the 12 weeks, she was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm like, okay, what? And she's like, I'm going to compete when I'm 50. I'm like, oh, and we're like 50 at the same time. So I'm like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is
You
awesome.
have to. Oh,
Amazing.
is this what the one you already did, or you're going to do another one actually on stage?
I would like to be on stage. Now that I've said it,
That's it. It's out there. It's happening now.
it's on.
It's
It's been
on.
recorded.
I
I
love
was toying with the same idea. I thought I was done. And then I was like, you know what? I'm 35 now. I can compete in masters. I'm not up against the 18-year-olds anymore. I think I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to try this again. I don't know
you guys
when,
should,
but-
because I compete every year, so I'm just putting on muscle right now, so I'll be competing at the end of next year. So you guys should definitely compete. Well, so are you wanting to do this next year, Nora?
Yeah, well, by the time I turn 50, so my birthday, like I said, is this week. So I have a full year. I'd have a full year of prep. I've
I'm
been
also
really
trying to put
like,
muscle on, so that's perfect. Build a little
Next year,
couple.
we're all going to be competing. Oh my God,
Good.
this is so cool. This is going to be so exciting every month.
we should all compete together. That way we can make it a party.
Oh my God,
Like,
I want
let's
to
do it
be,
in
I wanna
Vegas
be
or
in America.
somewhere.
If I can get over there,
Yeah, that's right. If travel is okay.
yeah, if I can get over wherever we need to meet in one place and do, oh my God, that would be so amazing. I would love it. I just want to say, because I didn't want to miss the chance to mention on here, me and my gang at Joy Training are doing a Christmas fundraiser. I haven't released this yet. I'll be promoting it tomorrow, but we're doing on the 18th of December a step-a-thon for an hour, on and off a step continuously for an hour.
Wow.
It's hard because
Oh, cool.
and we're doing it dressed up in Christmas gear on Zoom, live to Facebook, and we're raising money for a UK charity called Bliss, which is for premature and sick babies. And they really need it this year because with COVID, you know that it's always difficult when you've got premature babies, but normally they let the parents be with them. But now there's only limited time that the parents can be with the kids. And if they've got older siblings that are trying to be homeschooled, it's really difficult. One lady had twins recently. She'd had a cesarean, so her husband had to drive her to the hospital every day, and they only got 40 minutes a day with the babies. So it was they really need money right now. So I was just, because my sister's a doctor, and I was like, which baby charity? She told me Bliss. And we all signed up for it today. So we're going to do it on the 18th of December, which is the night of the Olympia, the big bodybuilding show, which I've bought live tickets to. So I'm going to do my step-a-thon for an hour, sweating as Rudolph. And then I'm going to lie on my couch.
This year, they just moved it, right? It's in Florida.
It's in Florida, yeah. So you can buy, if it's going to be like the Super Bowl, there's people coming back like Iris Kyle, Oksana Grishina, amazing people. So I've got my tickets. So I'm going to do the Christmas step-a-thon with the guys. Hopefully we're going to raise a lot of money. And then I'm going to lie on my sofa and watch the Olympia, because at my time it'll be midnight because of the time difference. So I just wanted to mention that because I really want to get a lot of money.
That sounds like so much fun.
I love it.
I'm so excited.
I
I was
love
doing a step test this morning with some clients from a fitness assessment, and it's harder than it looks. For like a whole hour, you're dripping.
I love that so much, Holly. I've got a fundraiser coming up as well. I can't release the details yet because I have waiting to hear back from the foundation that I'm looking at working with. But I love it so much. This is such a giving time of year. And yes, there are a lot of us struggling right now, but then there are a lot of us who still are working, never stopped working, and are feeling this strong need to give right now. And I love that you're giving them the opportunity. My son was a preemie as well. He was in the NICU for 10 days. I was 19 years old, and it was devastating for me, and I had to go home after the 4th day without my baby, and that was so hard on me. So I'm so grateful that you are choosing this foundation to work with. I just love the idea of paying that forward. I know that would have been so helpful at that time to me, so you're amazing.
Yay, that's so cool. Nora, have you got anything you need to mention about your gang of people?
I don't. I haven't really looked into anything yet. It's been a little bit crazy here.
Yeah.
With COVID and some other family stuff that's going on. So, and my sister is going to have a baby like any second.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm like anxiously awaiting that. I've been like on Aunt Nora duty. My other sister is also pregnant and she's not due until March. So I've been like really storming really all the sewing stores and like making them all these crazy outfits and stuff. So I have to get back into the training capacity, my training head. and
Your
get
your clients are flying. I always see your pictures, and they're just working out and just doing.
they're amazing, like
Yeah.
just amazing. They really, really are. They've done so much and come so far, and they just are constantly working. It's crazy. And just when I think like, again, just when you think like you reach the goals, they're like, okay, here's my new goal. I'm like, wow, like,
That's
okay,
very
great.
I
Like,
love
it's
that. I
fun.
feel like you ladies can probably relate. Like their results pump me up, like lift me right up off the ground. I feel like I'm floating sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are doing so amazing. It's so fulfilling, the work that we do.
I feel like really
Yeah.
blessed to be able to do this for a living.
Me
And
too.
that's what I'm major grateful for. Let's each wind this up by saying something that we're all super grateful for. That's mine, being able to do this for a living, to talk to you guys for my living. Very, very happy and very grateful for that.
I'm grateful for this chat right now. I see that there's lots of people watching. I think that it's going to speak to a lot of people. I know that it's going to leave me feeling very fulfilled, and I'm going to be quite productive for the rest of the day because I feel like this just overflowed my cup. So I'm grateful for this opportunity.
And I am so grateful that we all met with Nicole, that we all took a leap of faith. How many weeks ago, months ago was that? And that, here we are, like with our voices. I have to say, when she was like, online training could be as successful as in person, I was like, no way. Like, what are you talking about? And now, when I go on my virtual calls, I'm totally pumped up. Like it gives you that newfound, just like, I think everybody comes into training or being a trainer as being a trainer, we tell people what to do. You're basically teaching them, but to really get into like the spiritual guidance of it and really understand that you're transforming people's lives and making them happy and seeing them through all this BS with COVID. And, I'm just so grateful. I just really am, that no matter what is going on behind the scenes at home, that I always have something to be so grateful for.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love
absolutely.
that. Amen
And
to that.
for any of my clients, my friends, my followers, anyone who's watching right now, I really encourage you to follow these two ladies. Send them a Facebook friend request. I know they'll accept it. I want you guys to see more positivity on your news feed. A lot of people talk about all the negativity on your Facebook news feed. Well, let me tell you, you can hit a little button in the top right-hand corner that says snooze for 30 days. Get rid of the negativity.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a negative place. Fill it with more positivity, like these two ladies right here.
Yeah.
I feel exactly the same. Any of my Jersey UK folk watching, these two ladies, Rise and Raw Fitness and Balanced Bodies West Side.
Balanced Bodies West Side.
All about all about positivity, and I totally love it. So we're going to be doing one of these once a month, right?
Right.
That was our plan.
We will do once a month and preferably like on a Sunday. But we would love to know if you guys watching, of course, follow Holly and Jenny if you are my client. But also, guys, like feel free to drop comments underneath this with things that you'd like us to cover, with topics that you'd like us to see talking about. Maybe you've seen our lives on Facebook. Maybe there's something that we can expand on for you. Maybe we can touch on intermittent fasting, or we could talk about macros, or but let's make sure that we keep this going forward and positive and covering things that you want to see, because this is really about the audience and what you guys
That's right. We'd love to hear your questions. We'd love to be able to answer your questions, your struggles. You've got 3 coaches here who can help you for free. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got one in each time zone. How great is that?
Remind me what time is it where you are?
I know,
Yeah,
morning.
it's 11 a.m. for me. Nora, what time is it for you?
It's 2 o'clock now for me.
And
right?
Holly?
Yeah, I think it's like 7 p.m. coming up to 7 p.m.
That's perfect. Morning.
I've got 2 meals left to get through.
So you guys might actually get my insomniacs.
I'll get the late crew. You can get the early birds or whatever.
That's right.
Well, I'm so glad that we chose to do this. 3 chicks walked into a bar. Now we know a little bit about us. So we will be back again in January then, in the new year, new us. And maybe we can talk a little, well, the audience will tell us what they want to hear, but we can talk a little bit about what we resolve to do, or whether we think that's a load of crap. And And yeah,
Follow the COVID cycle. Let's see where this takes us this time.
who knows? Alien invasions? I don't know. Right, I'll end the Facebook link now. So if you guys want to give a wave to everybody, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye
Thanks
from
for
Jersey,
watching,
Channel
everybody.
Islands. Right, let's
Have a
end.
great week, guys.
I'll just end this live stream.
Love you, gals. See you soon.
I'll stop recording.